All right, welcome back. Before we get started here, just a quick refresher. I'll be using a variety of different pencils for my additive side, basically going from an H all the way to a 8B. You obviously don't need that big of a spread. Just the key factors is anything with an H is generally a hard, so it's going to be a lighter and scorier paper if you try and press too hard. And then anything with a B is for blackness. The bigger the number, the blacker the pencil is going to relay, or the softer the lead is going to be, so that you can get a darker look. Please do not try and do the additive side with one pencil. You do need to have that sort of variety, otherwise you're going to end up with pressing harder to get your darker edges, and it's going to actually shine up and become more of a silver than it will a black, which doesn't give a good offset for this. In contrast, when you're working on the dark side, remember that when you're using your eraser, you're going to be working from your mid-tone grays and then going to your brilliant whites by removing more of the black as we go along. Okay, if you needed a quick refresher as far as form and using your pencils again, I left you a YouTube video that you can refer back to, which we should have taken previously or would have taken previous in other art classes. By all means, practice prior to getting into your main assignment. Okay, so we'll get started. I'm going to start in with my 2H, which is my lightest, and move around. Don't just stay with one sort of focus and try and get that entire little section done. Kind of jump around the page and work in a variety so that you can kind of know where you're going, especially since I can't see anything in this black stage. Okay, so taking a look at my lovely little apples here, I've got the half, I've got the whole. I'm probably going to start in the center here so that I can get my build up, and then start building down into the blacks so that I can see more of what I'm drawing. Okay. All right, I could continue tinkering with it and sort of looking at some of the flowers that I've removed, but my hand has pretty much had it at this point, so I'm going to leave it at that. I did it throughout, but I was going to say at the final stages, what you can start to look at is putting in your extreme darks, and it does tend to lend a little bit nicer if you add some of that charcoal in at the end just to tie it in so that it's dark on both sides. I decided to do my whole background with the charcoal just because the dark pencils were not really doing what I wanted them to do, and it didn't look right to me. Totally up to you if you want to continue and have that sort of grayscale versus the black, or if you want to Use the charcoal a little bit more liberally throughout. Just be warned, it's not the easiest to erase. And again, you are looking at a very big mess. So you want to make sure that you're kind of knowing where you want to be going with that charcoal and not letting it overtake your page, because it is very easy for that black to take away your grays completely or take away your whites completely. Once you're done, find yourself a place, sign your name. So again, usually a darker pencil, or find a lighter spot. Does not have to be always down in that bottom right corner. You'll notice I did use a blending pencil for some of the charcoal, and that's totally fine. Just when you're using a blending pencil, again, it is dirty. So you're always moving away and towards the white. The other thing is if you're going to be blending your apples, please don't do the center ones or the stuff that's in the foreground. You want to try and, the stuff in the background is what, it's not significant, it's significant, but it's more or less is blurred out because it's not in focus. And so to put a little bit of a softness to it, same thing as your material, is okay. But you do want to leave some of that sort of crisp look for the ones that are up in front. I would probably, if I was to continue with this, actually get a small eraser on the end of a pencil and start looking at some of these finer details that are in the apple right around the rim, and getting that nice extreme white pieces in certain places to give that sort of pop or that final touch. And then otherwise, if you want to add any kind of little dark lines or your details, this would be the time to do it at the very end. But that's basically the gist of where you're moving with this particular assignment. Make sure that you're, again, cleaning up after yourself, and be mindful not to be leaning and dragging, because it is very easy to leave fingerprints everywhere. Try and focus on grabbing the edge of your page versus the center. Okay, I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. I've included a PDF on the assignment with a variety of different still lifes, or you can make your own. Totally up to you.